The California Kids roll into town after a rough ride in the Peg. Can the Orange and Blue finally make it 3 in a row? We get you set for the Oilers and the Kings right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola with you in the satellite studios just outside of Ice District, the beautiful downtown Edmonton. Matt Kassian and Ben Thomson also in tow as we get you ready for what should be a pretty decent Pacific Division showdown. A very exciting night in oil country. It's certainly a big one for Leon Draisaitl as they celebrate 1,000 points. Of course, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to ejectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Please join the conversation. We highly encourage it. Hit us up on the text line, 780-218-9999. Hop into the nasty chat if you're watching over on YouTube. The Oilers come into this game 22-16-6. The Kings 18-15-10. It is game number 45 on the schedule, and it's certainly a favorable situation for the Orange and Blue as we welcome in our game analyst as well as our producer extraordinaire, Ben Thomson and Matt Kassian. Good evening, boys. How we doing tonight? Cass, good to see you. Benny, once again, we had a great Hello Hockey. Cass, what's up, bud?
Nothing much. No, we're good. It was ended up being a quieter evening here in the Kassian house. We had some folks who were supposed to be coming over, and plans changed a little bit, and it's okay. I'm all right with it. Getting a little bit of a quieter evening, which is all right. So made a nice pot of warm chili, and ready to settle in for a little bit of hockey here.
All right. I like that. Chili's always good, especially this time of the year. Although it is quite unseasonably warm, we appreciate that. Mother Nature after getting absolutely destroyed for the last 2.5 weeks. Benny, how are we holding up? I haven't seen you in hours.
Oh, it's been so long. Yeah, I went home and passed out and woke up and I was like, I have an hour and a half until my pregame show starts. I should probably get going.
Yes.
Yeah. So I honestly, it's felt like I've gone from Hello Hockey to pre and post, but here we are.
Here we are, buddy. Here we are. It's going to be a good one. Dennis Bernstein will be our Kings guest. He'll join us in about 20 minutes or so. Look forward to catching up with DB. And Benny, you wanted DB, even though he was on yesterday with Hernan and Joaquin. Great segment as always. And we're going to have Dennis on, and he'll join us. There's only 3 Oilers and Kings games this year. Guys, call it a hunch, but I don't know if we're going to have a 5th consecutive spring where it's Edmonton and LA in the playoffs. Hey, Cass, is that crazy?
No, most likely will not be. But it might be. No, probably not. Most likely not. I think we get a break from it this year.
Yeah. Kings not so hot right now. 4 wins in the last 14 games and sliding down the Pacific Division standings as well as just the Western Conference standings right now on the outside looking in of the Western Conference playoff picture. All right, Benny, before we dive into game changers, let's throw out the question of the night. What do you got for us?
Question of the night tonight. So Tristan Jarry, right, was taking rushes with the main team today, and I wonder about if he'll be ready a little bit sooner. I think a Knobloch quote said he'll be ready sometime next week. Connor Ingram gets the start tonight. Is this the most important game for Connor Ingram to win to secure the backup spot here in Edmonton? Let us know.
All right, I'm going to pass that off to our game analyst.
Yeah, it's a great question.
Yeah.
Yes, because of recency bias.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the games as a whole should be what makes up the decision, and it's largely what will make up the decision. But the most recent one is the NHL has always been a "what have you done for me lately" league.
Of course.
Yeah.
So it'll be what have you done for me lately? Yes, I think this is the biggest one for him.
It feels like they're really leaning on Ingram ahead of Pickard, even though Pickard's battling, doing everything he can to try to maintain his spot on the roster. But yeah, with the success that Ingram's having, guys, it feels like that's the direction it might be going in. That's a great question, Betty. Let us know your thoughts, 780-218-9999. Ben, one more time, question of the night.
Is this the most important game for Connor Ingram to win to secure the backup spot here in Edmonton? Let us know.
All right. And some good news on the injury front as Tristan Jarry could be ready to go within a week. And that's good. Saw him on the ice again. And we'll see if that comes to fruition. All right. Before we dive into game changers, here are your lineups tonight. For the Oilers, McDavid with Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Draisaitl between Podkolzin and Kapanen again. We'll see if we have to buy Popeyes for Dusty or if Dusty has to buy the entire office Popeyes next week. Roslovic centering Howard and Savoy Lazar between Janmark and Frederick. Ekholm paired up with Bouchard. A little bit of change on the back end, you guys. Nurse with Emerson. Stasny back to the third pair with Regula back in the lineup. Riley Stillman has been sent back to Bakersfield. Andrew Mangiapane, once again, fourth time in the last 5 games, a healthy scratch as they look to find a new home for him. As for LA, here's what they rolled out yesterday and what we're anticipating because they could have Corey Perry back in the lineup. Quentin Byfield between Warren Fogle and Adrian Kempe. Alex Laferriere with Taylor Ward and Corey Perry. Alex Turcotte with Kevin Fiala and Andre Kuzmenko on his flanks. And then Samuel Hellenius between Andre Lee and Jeff Malott. On defense for LA, Mikey Anderson with Drew Doughty. Joel Edmondson with Brant Clark. Brian Dumoulin with former Oiler Cody Ceci. Your starting goalies for tonight, 28-year-old Connor Ingram. He is 3-2-0. We talked about him a little bit already off the top of the show. 3.02 goals against average, 8.91 save percentage of 5 games this year. Ingram versus LA, not good. 0-3-1 with a 353 GAA, 865 save percentage at 5 appearances against LA over the course of his career. And then at the other end of the rink, we're anticipating it's 33-year-old Anton Forsberg, 6-6-3 with a 264 GAA, 901 save percentage, 1 shutout in 16 games this year. Forsberg versus Edmonton, of course, he was at training camp with the Oilers about 5 years ago, is a 1-3-1 record, 285 goals against average, 922 save percentage at 5 games versus the Oil. If that changes, we see something different in warm-up, we will pass it along to you. Let's go to the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy Injury Report. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You have a bag of frozen peas. Get the best locker room or get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today, www.advantagesportmed.ca or call 780-460-9977. Tristan Jarry, LTIR, getting closer. Lower body, Jake Wallman, LTIR, also getting closer. Lower body, Adam Henrique, IR, undisclosed, expected to be out until after the Olympic break. As for LA, Captain Anze Kopitar in his final season, IR lower body, Joel Armia upper body. It looks like more of a day-to-day thing there. And then Trevor Moore, good forward, IR upper body. All right, let's get to Game Changers with Cass. Brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. David Bunting, consistent top producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for almost 20 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Cass numero uno. No blender.
How about that? Looks like the forward lines could stay the same. Kapanen inches closer and closer to remaining on Leon Draisaitl's line, at least at the start of games for another one, adding to the tension around the office and the drama. It's great. But I do like that we're getting a little bit of consistency. Now, bad for Mr. Mangiapane remaining out of the lineup once again, but I like that they're rolling this back here from the forward group at least. I understand there's a little bit of change on the back end. That's okay. But I think that keeping this train rolling is a good thing. Now, I don't think they were spectacular as a whole against Winnipeg. They were good and good enough to win, battled back in a game against a desperate Winnipeg team. But I'm happy they're rolling this back, guys. We're getting a couple games in a row where now for the bottom 6, there's at least a little bit of consistency. So I'm excited for that. I think it's a good thing, and hopefully they can keep that rolling tonight.
Okay, a couple of things when it comes to the lineup. And obviously with the forwards, we know and we've seen it change a lot under Chris Knoblauch. So, yes, it is good. And I like how you've pointed this out first on Game Changers. But on the back end, Regula getting back in, Riley Stillman being sent down to Bakersfield, Cass Stasny, they tried on the right side in the second pair with Darnell Nurse. I'll call it mixed results.
Yeah.
But a couple of things. What do people need to remember when it comes to Regula? Because he's not even at 50 NHL games yet. And then the fact that they're rolling Stastny back to the third pair, what does that tell us about him moonlighting up in the second pair?
Yeah, they're both not ready yet for the second pair. I mean, that's what that tells me. I don't think they are anyways. And from a Stastny standpoint, like NHL player, yes. Second pairing defender, not at this time. Especially on his offside. And like it wasn't horrible. There were some mistakes, and playing as a left-handed defenseman on the right side can be challenging. It forces you to be able, or you have to be very good at protecting the puck. You're making way more plays on your backhand, and you have to find space to be able to open up your body to pass the puck across ice. Like you have way fewer options as a defenseman that's left-handed playing on the right side. It's difficult to do that. And so I'm not shocked that it was mixed results for Stastny. Not shocked that he went back down a pairing. Now, Emberson's going to be the guy that's getting the opportunity here. Maybe out of the three of them, if we're looking at Emberson, Stastny, and Regula, maybe the guy this season that's been the most consistent in terms of his quality of play, plays physical, plays hard. We'll have to see how he does on the second pairing. Like it goes back to having to trade Kulak and needing another guy that can play on the right side in the top four. Like the second Kulak got traded, you needed another defenseman. And I know everyone's like, well, we traded for Stastny. Well, Stastny is left-handed, and he's not at the level of Brett Kulak, and he doesn't have the ability to play up your lineup. Like, say what you want about Kulak, but he could play in the first or second pair or third pair. Like he could play up and down. And when the games got big, he had a capacity to play better and up his own game in those moments. So it's, I think, a challenge for Edmonton here heading down the stretch into the eventual trade deadline is going to be to figure that out. And maybe Emberson shocks us and he's the guy. Shocks is the wrong word. Maybe he grows into it because he's another guy that hasn't played a massive amount of NHL games. But yeah, I mean, listen, both Stastny and Regula are still not guys that have played 250 games in the league. Like, they're still young guys. I think they are better suited at this time for that third pairing.
Benny, any thoughts on that?
Yep. I mean, like Cass was saying, this is, to me, you're trying to find someone that can play that number 4. And with Wallman out, you simply just don't have it. I mean, who knows, I guess, like you said, like who knows, if Emberson comes in and wows us with his play, who knows? But yeah, I think it just shows kind of the depth of, the Oilers defense right now, right? Like if Wallman's still there, that's great. You're still running an Emberson Stastny third pair, which I think if you're in a playoff situation, I don't know if I want that out there, that often. It's in a playoff sense, right? So they still need to make an upgrade on D, in my opinion. They still need to add one. They have got young guys like Stastny, Emberson, and Regula that are young and still trying to find their way in the NHL. And so to me, if they're looking at cup aspirations, they probably need to swap out for one of those guys for a veteran defenseman. But yeah, I'm curious to see how Emerson does with Nurse. I don't think we've ever seen this pairing before. So I'll be very curious to see if it turns out well.
Stastny is greater than Broberg, according to Zedmo. Broberg just signing a 6-year extension with the St. Louis Blues. That was announced in the afternoon. I think that we don't have to talk about that anymore, but Zedmo, that's noteworthy and good information to pass along. All right, point number 1 on Game Changers, no blender. Point number 2, bounce back-to-back, Cass.
Yeah, the old back-to-back where you have an advantage for Edmonton with the LA Kings playing in a different time zone last night and having to fly out to Edmonton and to play a game today. Now, on the flip side, they got absolutely pummeled last night against the Winnipeg Jets, have the Jets break their winless streak at 11. And it kind of creates it's like a similar environment to when Edmonton just went into Winnipeg, where it's like you have a team that's on the skids and a team that's probably going to be pretty desperate, a team that's going to be pushing to try to find a way to win. And even more motivation is the fact that this is an Edmonton group that's knocked the LA Kings out of the playoffs the last number of years. So it's like you have some history here, and then you have the schedule where they just got beat up on by Winnipeg, and they're going to be hungry for a win here tonight in Edmonton. Like, it's, again, I don't think a trap game where I don't think Edmonton is oblivious or like, oh, this is going to be an easy win. But you will be going up against a team that is going to be absolutely desperate to get 2 points. Like, this is an LA group that has not been playing fantastic, that's been slipping down the standings, still playing well defensively, still struggling to score goals offensively. Special teams are we'll talk about that in a minute, but they're atrocious for the LA Kings right now. They can't find a way to get it done. So you have just a desperate group, and Edmonton is going to have to either weather the storm if LA pushes significantly early in the game, a little bit of a bend but not break mentality, or be the ones just to be full throttle on the gas right from the get-go. And it does depend on what type of a push LA comes with out of the gate. But I guarantee you at some point tonight, they are going to be playing their most desperate hockey, which Edmonton is going to have to find a way to deal with.
This for LA is 3 games in 4 nights.
That as well, with travel in time zones.
Yes. It started at home against San Jose. They went to Winnipeg, lost there. They lost to San Jose in OT, and then they faced the Edmonton Oilers. Then they go back home. So this is a tough little stretch here, and the Kings have struggled. They've got a bunch of guys called up from the minors. They've got a bunch of guys hurt. Deneau, they traded away, like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Not a good situation for the LA Kings right now. And I like pedal to the metal, and I like that you brought that up too, Cass. So we'll see if the Oilers can do that on a night where they celebrate Leon Draisaitl reaching the 1,000-point milestone. All right, you can text us 780-218-9999. We want to hear your thoughts on tonight's matchup, anything you hear from us here on Game Changers. And then the question of the night was in regard to Connor Ingram getting the start. Is this his most important start to try to take that backup role from Calvin Pickard? What say you? Get to the nasty chat as well if you're watching over on YouTube. Game Changers, as always, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Point number 1, no blender. Point number 2, bounce back to back. Cass, point number 3, PK consistency. Yeah,
for the Edmonton Oilers, PK consistency is going to be a big one. Now, there, as I've talked about frequently, with the passivity of the Oilers PK this year, they're middling. They're right in the middle of the pack of the league, and that's where you're going to sit. If you have a passive penalty kill, you're basically telling everyone, we're not going to be great at penalty killing. We're just going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We're going to sit in the middle. We're just going to be completely average because we're going to back in and maybe clear up some of the backdoor stuff that's in front of the net, but we're going to let you work the puck around and blast it sometimes. That's where they're at. Now, on the flip side, the power play of the LA Kings has been utterly atrocious.
Yeah.
Sitting at 4th worst in the league at 15.3%. Not very good, guys. The power play has not found a way to generate any kind of an offense for the Kings, and their penalty kill as well has also been porous. And for a group that doesn't score a lot of goals, it's absolutely crushed them. Like, if we look at their record recently, and if we look at the LA Kings and their goal scoring recently, that power play is really the difference of, from a standing standpoint, from a losing in overtime standpoint, or just a getting win standpoint. Like, that's the difference between having 46 points where they are right now and easily being in second with, or tied for first in the Pacific with 50 points. Like, that's easily 2 wins of their losses. If their power play is, from 15 to take that power play from 15 to 20%, from an opportunity standpoint, very well likely that they are higher in the standings, at least in a wild card position over top of Utah or Seattle right now. So that power play has been just struggling. And I'll be interested to hear from DB if he's popping on here in a little bit, Dennis Bernstein, that is, as he watches all the LA Kings game and hearing about that power play, because, guys, it has been absolutely struggling. And for Edmonton, maintaining some of that consistency, again, they sitting at that 80% level for the Oilers, just floating at average. If they can continue to be average tonight, you are giving yourself a huge chance to win with a power play of your own that's been very, very good, and Los Angeles penalty kill that has also been struggling. Like, their special teams has absolutely crushed them this year. For Edmonton, big night, with Leon celebrating his 1,000th point. You'd like to see that power play take advantage of LA as well, and their weakness this year, and their at times inability to shut Edmonton down, as we've seen in the past couple of years, at least in the playoffs.
Yeah, this is the first of 3 meetings, and I'm curious to see how this one goes. LA looks like a bit of a wounded animal right now. And just to reiterate what Cass was saying when it comes to special teams, Edmonton obviously first overall when it comes to the power play this year, home and away, and overall 34.2%. That's 41 goals on 120 opportunities. The Oilers' PK has crept up to the middle of the pack, like Cass was alluding to, 80%. That's good for 16th with 4 shorties scored. And then over on the flip side, like Cass was saying, 29th overall is where the Kings sit when it comes to the power play. On the road, 23rd overall at 16.4%. Overall, home and away, 15.3%. And then on the PK, the Kings also no bueno, 25th overall in the NHL at 76.9%. And then on the road, 77.2%, which is 23rd. Now, they are dangerous on the PK, 7 shorties so far this year. So the Oilers better have their wits about them and not be too loose on the power play. All right, Cass, high scoring game or not? I'm looking at the Play Alberta over under for this one. They have it set at 6.5. The under is at -130. The over at -102.
Oof. I mean, I lean towards it being a lower scoring game, just based on the LA Kings. But I mean, it's Edmonton. You could turn it into a run and gun show at any time. I'll lean towards it that way, but it does just depend. And as we saw when we have seen them play the LA Kings the last number of years over and over again, and yes, there's different players. I understand that on both teams. But to me, it all depends on who scores first, because if Edmonton scores first, LA opens this up, and all of a sudden it turns into a little bit of a run and gun. If LA scores first, they are going to absolutely hunker down, as they tend to do. So depends who scores first. I lean towards it being a lower scoring game, but I mean, you got McDavid, who's been on just an absolute tear.
Yeah.
And that can bust open a game at any moment too.
Very true. Very, very true. Cass, great stuff as always. We'll catch up with you on the post-game show.
Thanks, boys. Look forward to it.
There's our game analyst, Matt Kassian, with Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, go check them out. Damon Bunting Real Estate, or DamonBunting.com. Damon Bunting Real Estate over on Instagram. Of course, you get up-to-date listings and stuff that Damon has over on Instagram. Very, very quick to figure out what's on the market and what he's got for sale, or he's trying to move along and inventory wise. And then of course, if you're looking for something specific, Damon, very well connected and very efficient at getting you what you want. All right, let's go to Mike in Thunder Bay, who's got an answer to the question of the night. Says, I think Ingram has already won the backup role. However, I think waivers and the ability to keep all 3 goaltenders will be the most important. If Ingram could go back down without waivers, he will have to go down, even if he is the true number 2. That's interesting. Coach Mike texting in says, Oilers need to win tonight. Put LA in the rearview mirror. Draisaitl night. First 3-game win streak, LFG, and then also $8 million a year for a career-high 29-point D-man, on pace for 25 this season. Thank your agent. Dude, who's that in regard to? $8 million a year for a career-high 20 points.
Broberg?
Oh, right, Broberg. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's right. We're talking about the signing or the extension. Todd in Bonnieville says, do you think San Jose would consider Mangiapane and Regula for Klingberg? Would that be the right move? No. No. You're getting old and slow and weak. But I understand the motivation. I could say that with confidence. Todd in Bonnieville. Keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. Oh, look at this guy. He is ready to go. He is ready to go as we get you set for the Oilers and the Kings. Let's bring in Dennis Bernstein. DB, 2 days in a row on our station.
Sure.
That's how good you are. That's how much we love you. And Betty Thompson, after we finished up Hello Hockey earlier, was like, can you get DB? And I was like, well, he was on yesterday. And I was like, I know. Or he goes, I know, but he's so good. And I'm a big fan. And I was like, okay, I'll see what he says. So I know you got
the outlet I would do that for.
I know. And that's why you're the best.
Maybe for SiriusXM because I work for them, Tommy. But Tommy, I almost didn't make it after watching that Rams game.
Oh.
I almost didn't make it because I'm a Rams fan. I'm a season ticket holder.
Yes, you are.
Oh my God, I couldn't.
You're gonna be okay, DB.
Tommy, I have 168 hours in a week. I have a great 165. The other 3 watching the Rams play is miserable. I was miserable until 40 seconds left in the game. But great to be on EST again, ready to talk Oilers Kings.
Yeah, the Rams with a 34-31 win over Carolina. Chuba Hubbard, the Edmonton area kid, can't get it done against the LA Rams. All right, DB, great to see you. Thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it. Hey, you and PJ, where are you guys going? You said you have a big dinner coming up tonight, and I know you want to sneak this in, so we want to get you on a little bit earlier. Where are we going tonight?
We're going to the fine city of Calabasas, where all the celebrities live. We're going to Boulevard Steak, which is one of our go-to restaurants. Going to have a nice. I'm not a tomahawk guy anymore. I lost a lot of weight, so probably a nice little fillet.
Yep.
I'm going to celebrate, have a little drink after the Rams victory, and going to enjoy watching. I'll make them put on the game so I can watch it, or I can watch it as well.
I love it. DB, classy guy, looking sharp as always, and it's going to be a good dinner. Let's do a little bit of hockey talk beforehand. Sure. Okay, 5-1 last night in LA. What happened in Winnipeg? What happened to LA last night that was their downfall?
Let's see what happened to them. Taylor Ward, Andre Lee, and the scratch was Cole Gutman. That's what happened to them. They're banged up. Kopitar went to IR. Corey's back in tonight, which is a good thing to see. Joel Amir's banged up. And they don't score goals. And, it would have been okay if they had won last night and got, run out of the building tonight, which I think will happen, to be honest with you, Tommy, because this team, it's not even the offense last night, Tom. I think the Jets had, 22 shots on goal and 5 goals. They were terrible defensively. The ship's sinking. We'll see what happens. And, Tom, if they don't win tonight, they come home and play these 2 games, Dallas and Vegas. Yeah. I would make dinner plans in a couple of weeks if I was Jim Hiller right now. It's getting tough. They fell out of the second wild card. It's going to be very, very difficult. Look, I won't say winning tonight is miracle on ice. It'd be close for this team because they're just not feeling it. There's no continuity to the lines. We know what happened. You look at their third period with Dumoulin and everybody's favorite in Edmonton's Cody Ceci. It's a team that's not clicking all cylinders, all banged up. I mean, tonight it could be Alex Oferrier is the 1 seed. Yeah. I think the Oilers will have an advantage at 1 seed tonight, Tom. Pretty sure.
Just a hunch?
Just a hunch. I'll play that. Exactly.
Well played. Okay, 4 wins in 14 games on top of last night's debacle in Winnipeg. What has been the downfall? Is it just the lack of scoring? Is it the guys getting hurt? Did you see this coming, DB?
You saw it coming because the power play, Jim Hiller was resistant, back in the early part of the season. The 5-man power play that worked really well, regular season and playoffs against the Oilers, wasn't clicking. And he stuck with it. It's a lot of things, Tom. It's never just one thing. I think the big thing, because when you look at the team's offense, it's floundering. So you think, okay, a guy who I love, I got to know really well here, and guys that I'm sure you love, Warren Fogle, really good guy. He's got 6 goals. Trevor Moore, concussion issues again, like a couple of seasons ago, he's got 3 goals, right? And the biggest one is Quentin Byfield. He's making about $1.1 million for every goal he scored this year, which is 7.
Yeah.
Right. So he has been. I don't know, Tom. He should be an alpha. He should be a player like he has all the tools to be a Jack Eichel or an Austin Matthews, and he's just not. He continues to pass the puck when he has opportunities. The other night when he played against San Jose, he was 5 feet in front of Askarov with the game winner in overtime, shot it wide. Right. He's the biggest issue. Now, you would think, okay, it's the forwards. It's not really the forwards, Tom. This team has 1 puck-moving defenseman. That's it. Blair Clark. I don't consider Drew Doughty. Drew Doughty can throw a great stress pass, but I don't consider, maybe 1.5. I'll be generous.
Okay.
Puck-moving defenseman. Like Anderson doesn't move the puck. Edmondson doesn't move the puck. Ceci and Dumoulin, come on. So if you're trying to play a rush game with these guys on defense that can't move the puck, it doesn't work. It's just, you could see it coming. I don't think to this degree. And there's a lot of chatter about Jim Hiller because it hasn't gone well. If they lose tonight, Tom, going back to game 3 of last year, they would have won. If they lose tonight, they would have won 37.5% of their games. So, social media, which I don't pay attention to with respect to making changes in teams and stuff, is wants his head on a platter. They want him out right now. Here's the issue. When Ken Holland came here in the press conference in May, he said that he reviewed Jim Hiller and the staff and decided to keep them with, I will tell you, probably 6 more experienced, better, in quotes, coaches. He could have had Tortorella. He could have had Laviolette. He could have had our friend Jay Woodcroft. He could have had Gerard Gallant.
DeBoer.
It's probably DeBoer, right? So that's it. We are just named 6 guys.
Right.
Now, how does it look, Tom? If, let's say tonight it's 7-1 Oilers. How's it going to look if 45 games into the season you fire the coach that you thought in May was the right coach? The optics will be terrible. So I think he's going to last the season unless they really fall out.
Right.
If they lose another 10 or 14 and they're, let's say, 10 points out at the Olympic break or the trade deadline, would he pull the shoot on him? Yeah, because it's not his guy. But to do it right now, the opposite terrible. Then you have to question the decision-making that Ken Holland does. And for much they want to bang on CC and Dumoulin as adds in free agency, Tom, Armia's been great. Corey's been great. Mm-hmm. So if you graded him on his acquisitions, if you say CC's an F, Dumoulin's a D, and Armia's an A, and Corey's a B, he's got a C. But here's the challenge. Like, when you look at the recalls that they made when they got injured, like I mentioned, it's Andre Lee, Taylor Ward, and Cole Gutman.
Who?
You don't know any of those guys. Yeah. Exactly. That there's no depth in the prospect pool at all. Liam Greetree's still in juniors. Right? And the other is their strongest depth in prospects is goaltenders. They have Darcy Kemper, and they also have 3 kids. They have Slukinski, they have Carter George, and they have the Finnish kid. Mm-hmm. But Tom, the last time I checked, you can only play 1 goalie in a game. What good is it having 4 prospects? You got to trade one of them. And I'll say this. And when I graded, I did a great column. A lot of people crazed it. I did midterm grades. I gave Ken an incomplete. Here's why. Mm-hmm. This is on Rob Blake. He didn't make the team a Stanley Cup contender, and they don't have a depth of prospects. So if they're jammed up next year, and they're going to be jammed up next year, Tom, because here's the thing. When Kopitar leaves, and he's going to leave, I talked to one executive that came through from a visiting team a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And he said, I said, they need a 1C next year. He goes, Dan, a 1C is a point-a-game player. At minimum, 70 points. He goes, Byfield's on pace for 45 points. The Kings going to need a 1C, not a 2C. And unless you want to go take a risk and trade for Elias Pettersson from Vancouver, there's no 1C to be had. Mm-hmm. This could get really ugly really fast this season and definitely next season as well. So I'm not optimistic. And I'm, me in this market, I'm a pretty positive guy. I've turned heel. The prospects of this team, I don't think they're a playoff team. And going into next season, Tom, there's going to be a lot of work for Kenny Holland to do. He might have regret taking his job last summer.
Dollar bills, DB, dollar bills. All right, I want to get you on your way to dinner with PJ. So one last one for you. I'm going to mash 2 together. Dennis Bernstein from the 4th period with us here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. When the Kings are playing good and having success, what are they doing well? And then what kind of game do you think we're going to see tonight?
They have to win a 3-2 game. Right, that's the only way they could do it. And they can't take any penalties against this team because they can't figure out a way to kill the penalties. Not that they're the only team that could do that. Mm-hmm. They have to slow the game down, control the game, get a big game from their goaltender, and try to find a way to get some traffic in front of the goaltender. But I just the way they're playing, Tom, off of last night's game. Like, if you're a player, Tom, and you step on the ice after last night, how can you be optimistic you're going to be Connor, Leon, Zach? You can't. No. It's going to be tough. I mean, I'll put it this way. As much as I've banged on Hill the last couple of days, if he finds a way to win this game against this team, then, he should be in the Jack Adams conversation because they're really up against it here. They're just not playing well. They don't have the talent, and the defense is starting to become leaky as well. So the only way I can see it, Tom, is, 45 saves by the goaltender, maybe eke out a 2-1 win. I don't see it happening against the Oil teams that's really starting to find their stride.
Oilers, looking for their first 3-game winning streak of the season. DB, they could have it tonight, but they're going to have to be on their toes early. We'll see what the Kings bring tonight after struggling last night and recently. Hey, have a great dinner. Thank you for doing this, and say hi to PJ for me, okay?
I will. I'm just sad about one thing, Tom.
What?
I don't think it's going to be part 5 if Oilers Kings in the playoffs in
know.
the spring. I'm sad about that. I love being up with you guys. I love the market. I love the fans up there. But it's always great being on EST with you, man.
Hey, you know what that means. They need to get to the Cup final to get your ass up here. So that would be wonderful. KDB, love you. Thank you.
Likewise, Tommy. Talk to you soon.
There you go. There's Dennis Bernstein, the one and only, the fantastic DB from the fourth period, SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. You could catch him on the Hot Stove every Saturday. Him alongside Ryan Payton and our Hello Hockey insider, David Pagnotta. Absolutely tremendous. Great to have him on, and big thanks because he is going for dinner. I think he said it's about a 15-minute drive. He's got 23 minutes to get there, so give him enough time, I hope. There you go, Benny. That was for you.
That was great.
Satisfied?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you got us Jerome McGinley for Hello Hockey, who was fantastic.
Yes.
I loved the rapport you and Jerome have. You go way back with him. He's tight with Nate the Builder, your dad. They grew up together playing hockey together. So you did us a solid, and I thought we'd return the favor in a small way for you. So good stuff all around. And if you haven't checked out Hello Hockey, please do. It was a great episode. Pagnotta with a bunch of updates on stuff going on around the NHL. Yes, Mangiapane talk. And then also great stories and insight from Jerome McGinley, the Hall of Famer, who was excellent and has a great and strong connection to our very own Benny Thomson. So a great show. Check it out when you get a moment. It's only 2 hours long. Skip through the boring parts. Not many, but there are some. And enjoy. Let us know what you think. We do it every Saturday from 10 to noon right here on EST, and it does air on Sportsnet Radio as well. What'd you think of what DB had to say there, Benny?
Yeah, he's not very confident in this Kings team, and with how he's describing it, I don't blame him. I've been kind of in the same thought of this team. To me, I said that at the start of the year, like they don't scare me in terms of being a cup team, but then they also don't have the young prospects that could come in and fill in this new this new era of the Kings. They have Brant Clark, and I understand Byfield's having a rough year, but he could have been probably a little bit better this year and maybe looking like a 1C, but they're stuck in that mushy middle, and I hate that. I would hate that if I was a team. I can't stand we'll push for a playoff spot, but we'll lose in round 1 or 2. Or if we miss, and then we have a brutal pick for the draft, and here we are again. Like, I hate that mushy middle, and I feel like the Kings have been living in it. I think it was the first year the Kings played the Oilers. That was probably their best chance at beating that team. And it went to Game 7 and all that, but it's a weird. They had this weird rebuild, retool, and then they kind of rushed into like, all right, okay, you know what? Let's just go for cups now, and they just failed miserably running to a pretty stacked Oilers team these past couple of years. So to me, strip it down, man. Kopitar's gone after this year. I strip it down to bare bones. Start over. You're seeing over in San Jose, rebuilding works, tanking works. Go do that if you're LA.
Yikes, because they were right there. They had that series in their hands on the stick of Quentin Byfield, and a soft little play with the empty net and gets knocked down by Evan Bouchard at the Kings blue line, and it goes back the other way, and bada bing, bada boom, and LA's out. Thanks to the Oilers for the 4th consecutive year, and here they are now. They started out really strong, and then now they've slipped. They're not out of it, but you're right. Mushy middle doesn't look good. 4 wins in 14 is not good. So, we'll see how they handle things. We do have confirmation on the lines. Laferriere with Malott and Kempe. Interesting. Byfield with Fogle and Perry. Turcotte between Fiala and Kuzmenko. Hellenius with Lee and Ward on defense. Anderson with Doughty. Edmondson with Clark. Dumoulin with Ceci, and Anton Forsberg does start. That comes from Kings reporter Jared Schafferin, who is in tow with the LA Kings on the road. And then for the Oilers, very consistent as what it pertains to the forwards. You're going to see McDavid between Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Draisaitl sticks with Kapanen and Podkolzin. Roslovic with Savoy and Howard flanking him, and then Lazar between Janmark and Frederick. Defense for the Oilers, a little bit different. Ekholm with Bouchard. Nurse with Emberson tonight. Stasny back to left side on the third pair with Regula, who's back in action. And if you didn't catch it, Riley Stillman has been sent back down to Bakersfield. Andrew Mangiapane is a healthy scratch. Your goalies for tonight, Connor Ingram and Anton Forsberg. Connor Ingram seeking his first victory against the LA Kings in his career, 0-3-1 with the .353 GAA, .867 save percentage in 5 appearances versus LA. Anton Forsberg, 1-3-1 against Edmonton, lifetime, .285 GAA, .922 save percentage in his 5 games versus the Orange and Blue. We're going to go inside the Oilers locker room shortly and hear from them, but I want to get to a couple texts. You can text us 780-218-9999. Coach Mike says Quentin Byfield having a very pedestrian season, only on pace for 46 points. Yeah, you heard DB talking about that quite a bit. And then let's see what's going on over on the Nasty Chat. How you guys doing over there? Barbershop Window says Ken Holland did a good job building a contender around McDavid from 2022 to 2024. The 2024 team was solid. Then Bowman ruined it. I know where you're coming from, Barbershop Window, but I think there's still time to shape the team to make a bit of a run this year. We'll see how it goes. And then James says, if it's true, Bill Zito was a contention until Holland came on the scene. It will sting for a long time. Trying to remember what the situation with Bill Zito was and if they approached him. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I remember hearing that report too. Yeah, I remember.
I mean, they should have spoken to him, but yeah, it's worked out well for Bill Zito. Indeed, in Florida. All right, let's go inside the Oilers locker room. Benny, who should we hear from? 1,000-point guy or coach?
Yeah, let's start off with the 1,000-point guy. Leon Draisaitl being celebrated for his 1,000-point milestone. Here's himself from the locker room earlier today.
It's a nice night to kind of honor your achievement, which is a family and a team achievement. What do you think about tonight?
Yeah, very special, of course. Very proud of it. Something that seemed very far away when it first all started, but very grateful for the people I have in my life, for this group in here, for what the organization has given me and the opportunities, and so very excited for tonight, and I think my family's very happy to be here as well.
Who's all here?
I got my mom, my dad, my sister, and my Omi actually is here. So she made it all the way. So yeah, it's gonna be a great night, and fun little celebration.
How old is she?
She's 84, if I'm not mistaken. So. But she's moving well. She's in good spirits. She's in good shape. So very, very excited to have her here.
What's your dad doing now?
No, he's a general manager for a team right now in Germany. So that gives him the time to come out here for the dad's trip coming up and for tonight. So yeah, just again very, very excited to have them here and get to experience it.
Leon, are these opportunities for you to be able to reflect on just how far you've come, thinking about you back in the dream that you had, and then being able to spend this night with your family and your teammates?
Yeah, it's just special. Like sometimes those milestones in this world, it's so about it's all great, but what's next, right? You kind of sometimes seem to find a way to just shove it to the side and be like, yeah, okay, but there's a game after, and what's next? And you just keep looking ahead, and I just want to really take the moment and be grateful for it, and be proud of myself, and having come this way, and obviously I hope there's many more to come.
This group has been able to celebrate a lot of milestones together, and you today, you just coming up on 1,000 games. What's it like for you guys to be able to stop and really enjoy these milestones?
Yeah, I think again that's what I just alluded to there. I think it's special. We all kind of grew up together in this room, the core, and we all started when we were young kids, 18, and you don't know how your career is going to go at that point. And to be able to witness Connor get 1,000, Nursey doing his thing, Nuge getting to 1,000 games, like it's just special to be a part of, and I think it makes it a little bit more special just because you've seen every stage of their career, and you've been there for all of them, and those are always fun nights.
Were you one of those kids who would hang around the rink when your dad was?
Oh, certainly, yeah. I was a rink rat, yeah. I was always a big fan of my dad's teams, and I was always around the teams and always wanted to be at the rink. So, yeah, very grateful for the insight that I've gotten from my dad and you know, the hockey knowledge that he has instilled into me, you know, is a huge reason why I am where I am today.
All right, that was Leon Draisaitl. They're going to celebrate his 1,000th point tonight. I know people have been asking about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins in game number 1,000. They're planning on celebrating that, the game that he plays his 1,000th. And as of right now, it would be the 18th. That's when they want to do the celebration. Things can change, obviously. Knock on wood, he stays healthy and all of that. But that's the plan. So a couple celebrations here. We had one earlier for Adam Henrique's 1,000th game, which was great. He unfortunately is out due to injury, or fortunately, if you look at it from some Oilers fans' perspectives. Omi in the house, and she's going strong.
Mm-hmm.
I respect the hell out of that. As someone who only has a babunia left, who's in her late 80s, she's going strong. T Winnipeg 204 via the nasty chat says, Omi at the game? Oilers by 1 million.
I'd imagine he goes off tonight. Family in the crowd.
I would think so.
Crowd. Like, this is the type of night. Against the Kings, too, where it's like, I know, I understand the Oilers have won 4 playoff series against them in a row, but, like, they don't like them very much at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'd imagine it's a big night for Draisaitl.
Beat on those Kings with your grandma in the house. That is Omi, not homie, as somebody asked in the nasty chat. Did he say homie? No, he said Omi, and that means grandma in German. All right, let's get to your game day odds check, brought to you by our good friends over at Play Alberta. When you play in Alberta, it stays in Alberta, safe and secure. The revenue generated from Play Alberta is redirected into Alberta's General Revenue Fund, which is used to support programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. Your money line for tonight, I'm just going to do a quick refresh. It's minus 185 for the Oilers, plus 155 for the Kings. The over-under, I said it earlier, but I'll reiterate it. It's at 6.5, over at minus 102, under at minus 130. So if you're interested, you got a few minutes to put a little sprinkle down. Of course, use your game sense. Right, Benny Thomson?
Yes. Use your
Always.
game sense. Be smart.
Absolutely. All right. Edmonton's won 4 of the last 5 home games against LA, although they lost the last visit versus the Kings. One of only 3 meetings between these two Pacific Division rivals. And the Oilers with a really nice opportunity to separate themselves a little bit from the LA Kings and then also continue to keep pace in the Pacific Division at the top. And we'll see if they'll be able to do that. Benny, anything you wanted to hit on? We've got a few minutes left here.
Quick side note, there's a clip on Twitter right now. This is kind of adorable, kind of funny. I can't tell if it's a PWHL game or an NHL game or something where they have the little kids playing each other at intermission.
Oh yeah.
And there's a full on line brawl between these kids right now. I wish I could grab the clip, but it's hilarious. I'm watching it on Twitter. It was so funny.
It's in Hershey at an AHL game.
Okay,
it looks
well,
like.
there you go. Yeah. So I'm seeing a goalie jumping in, flying his blocker around, and kids going. That's hilarious. But for the game tonight, though, I mean, this is going to be. I kind of side with Bernstein here. Like it's a rough road trip for LA. They've already been playing bad. They have guys out. They have their backup in tonight. Like, to me, it just like the. If you were to make a list of all the things that are favored in Edmonton, a lot favors in Edmonton tonight, which means the Kings are going to win tonight. But I'm just kidding. But to me, I'd expect this to be a solid win for the Oilers tonight. This is a fantastic opportunity to have a win streak. Fantastic. You have a pretty bad team right now coming into your barn on the end of a bad road trip. So, yeah, to me, pounce on them, pedal to the metal, take advantage, get your first 3-game win streak of the year. and see if you can continue past that after this game. But yeah, tonight's game, make sure you take care of business and beat this LA team.
Yeah, it's right there for them. Okay, so I reposted it. Dusty has it. He said, this is insane.
Yeah.
The first adult, as Dan Tenser replied, into the fray is the mascot.
I didn't get to that part. That's hilarious.
Right? Like the mascot gets in there. These kids are just beating the living snot out of each other. And the mascot doesn't like go in there.
Yeah.
He just kind of circles the outside. And this is insane, dude. So if you want to check it out, I reposted it on Twitter. And then we got a text that came in from Leon's body language, says, dude, the goalie blockered another kid. Someone get an adult out there. Yeah, that's funny, but that shouldn't happen.
That's gonna be a story they're all gonna have for the rest of their lives, though. That's gonna be so funny. Like,
yes,
they're out there in an AHL intermission and they're just swinging at each. Oh, that's awesome.
How is there no adult out there? Usually you got the rink crew or somebody, right? Like,
that's a great question.
Oh my goodness, unbelievable. Let's get you up to speed. Are you able to snag that really quickly?
Yeah, I'll try to grab it. I'll see if I can.
Here's what we're gonna do. We have a few minutes left. We're having some fun here. We get great stuff from Bernstein, great stuff from Matt Kassian. We heard from Leon Draisaitl. Let's get you up to date on what's gone on around the National Hockey League. 14 games on the schedule, super busy night. And then we're going to end it with that brawl with the kids in the intermission in Hershey, which is hilarious. Boston 10-2 winners over the Rangers. I think it was Panarin with 6 assists. Husnutdinov with a 4-goal night, if I'm not mistaken.
Sorry, what game was this?
Boston and New York.
Pasternak had these 6 assists tonight.
That's what I said. Yeah, but it was Pasternak.
Yeah.
With the 6 assists. Not Panarin. And then yes, Marat Husnutdinov had the 4 goals and 1 assist tonight. So yeah, they absolutely destroyed the New York Rangers. The Boston Bruins did. Calgary 2-1 winners in Pittsburgh this afternoon. Colorado 4-0 over Columbus. San Jose 5-4 winners in OT over Dallas. Buffalo continues to stay hot. A 5-3 win over Anaheim. That's good for the Oilers and just everybody in the Pacific. Toronto beating up on Vancouver 5-0. Vancouver, yikes. Detroit 4-0 over Montreal. Florida 3-2 over Ottawa. Tampa 7-2 winners over Philly in Philly. Carolina 3-2 over Seattle. Chicago's up 1-0 on Nashville after 2. 3-3 after 2 in Minnie between the Wild and the Islanders. And then the Golden Knights host the Blues while the Oilers get a beat up and tired LA Kings. All right, do we have it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how I should add this into like what would make the most sense.
Does it have sound?
I don't know if it does. For safety reasons, I'll probably not have sound going because it could be swears and stuff in the back.
Well, for those listening, we could just do the play-by-play of it.
Yeah. So okay, I think I figured this out.
You got it?
Yeah. So let's see if that's. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so here we go. Scrum in the corner. These look like 7-year-old kids. Team Navy versus Team White. And these kids are just piling on top of each other. I think like half the crowd is like in awe and disgusted. The other half's probably cheering this on. And then these kids all square off. Some of them still holding onto their sticks, knocking each other down. I see some haymakers.
There's the one.
Here's the goalie.
The other goalie on the other side comes flying here in a second and left.
I like how the goalie that first got into the pile sees the other goalie coming down, and he goes. Yeah. And then there is the mascot not doing anything. This is insane, man. This is insane.
Yeah.
Pure chaos.
It was incredible. That was that's the video. There you go.
Whoopsies. There's going to be a meeting or two in Hershey to go over that one. All right. That was a lot of fun. Big thank you to Dennis Bernstein, who hopped on from the 4th period. And then thank you to everybody who listened. Thank you to everybody who watched. And we'll see if the Oilers can get 3 in a row for the first time this season. Great opportunity against the wounded LA Kings squad. Losers 5-1 last night in Winnipeg. 4 wins in their last 14 and are playing their 3rd game in 4 nights with a lot of travel. For Matt Kassian, For Benny Thomson, I'm Tom Gazzola saying thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the Oilers and the Kings and the ceremony for Leon Draisaitl. We will see you on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show right here on EST following Edmonton and LA. Ciao for now.